The cold was already alive when the world was born into silence. Long before the sun crept over the frozen horizon, the land of Yakutia breathed frost instead of air. Snow lay thick like a burial shroud, swallowing sound, swallowing time. At -71 degrees, the cold was no longer weather. It was a living force that clawed at skin, cracked wood, and tested the will of anything foolish or brave enough to exist here. Nikolai Ivanovich had lived in this cold for 90 winters. He woke before dawn, as he always did, wrapped in layers of reindeer fur, stitched by hands that had long since returned to the earth. His breath rose in pale clouds inside the hut, each exhale turning instantly to frost. The fire had burned low during the night, glowing like a dying eye. He fed it carefully, slow and deliberate, knowing that haste wasted heat and mistakes killed men. Outside, the tiger waited. Nikolai pushed open the heavy wooden door, and the cold struck him like a physical blow. It pressed into his lungs, bit his cheeks, froze the moisture in his beard, until it crackled when he moved. The forest stood motionless, black trees etched against a sky the color of steel. Even the wind seemed hesitant, as if afraid to disturb something ancient and watching. He had been born into this world of ice. His earliest memories were of fur-lined cradles, of firelight dancing on wooden walls, of his mother's voice telling him the cold was not an enemy but a teacher. "Fear the cold," she said, "and it will kill you. Respect it, and it will let you live." He respected it. Nikolai moved slowly, conserving energy, checking the snow traps he had set days earlier. The snow was deep, powdery, squeaking under his boots with the sound only extreme cold could produce. He noticed the tracks immediately. Wolves. At first only a few fresh sharp-edged prints pressed into the snow. He crouched, despite the protest of his old bones, and traced one with a gloved finger. Large, healthy, more than he usually saw this close to his shelter. Wolves were not new to him. They had always shared this land, shadows at the edge of vision, voices in the night. But something about these tracks unsettled him. They circled. They lingered. That night, as darkness swallowed the world whole, he heard them. The howl rose low and long, carried across the frozen plain. Then another, then many. The sound wrapped around the hut, slipping through cracks in the wood, vibrating in his chest. It was not a challenge. It was not celebration. It was hunger. Nikolai added more wood to the fire and sat back on his low bench, axe resting against the wall within easy reach. His hands were steady. Panic wasted warmth, and warmth was life. The wolves appeared at the edge of firelight, eyes catching the glow like sparks. One became 5. 5 became dozens. Shapes moved through the snow, circling, testing. Their coats were thick, but hunger had carved their bodies lean. The winter had been cruel, even to them. He stood in the doorway, firebrand in hand, letting the flames speak for him. Wolves respected fire. They also respected resolve. He did not shout. He did not retreat. He simply existed, unmoving. A presence as stubborn as the frozen earth. Beneath his feet, the first night passed without attack. The second night was worse. The temperature dropped even lower. The kind of cold that made trees split with gunshot cracks in the distance. The wolves came closer. He could hear their breathing now, see the frost clinging to their whiskers. They prowled around the hut, claws scraping faintly against wood and ice. Once, something heavy thudded against the outer wall, testing strength. Inside, Nikolai rationed his food with care. Dried meat thawed near the fire, eaten slowly, each bite chewed longer than necessary to savor the warmth. He drank melted ice sparingly. He thought of his wife, gone these 20 winters, of his children, now scattered in warmer cities that felt like another planet. He wondered if they remembered how silence sounded. Sleep came in fragments. He woke often, feeding the fire, listening. The wolves never left by the third day. Exhaustion crept into his bones like the cold itself. Moving became harder. Fingers stiffened faster. The fire consumed wood at an alarming rate, and he calculated how long his supply could last. Days, perhaps, not weeks. At dusk, the wolves changed tactics. They withdrew beyond the firelight, forming a wide ring. No howls now. No movement. Just waiting. Wolves were patient. Hunger sharpened that patience into a blade. When the moment came, it was sudden. A single wolf stepped forward, larger than the rest, its coat silvered with age. It stopped only a few paces from the doorway. Its eyes locked onto Nikolai's. The world seemed to shrink until there was only that gaze. That shared understanding of survival balanced on a thin edge. Nikolai raised the firebrand slowly. The wolf did not flinch. Snow drifted between them, soft and silent. For a long moment, neither moved. Then the wolf turned away. A low sound rippled through the pack. And one by one, they melted back into the forest, shadows dissolving into white and black. The cold reclaimed the night. Dawn arrived, pale and fragile. The sky lightened just enough to reveal the tracks leading away, long lines stretching toward distant hills. Nikolai stepped outside, the cold biting deeper than before, but the air felt lighter. The balance had shifted. He stood there for a long time, alone again with the endless snow. He did not feel victorious. Only grateful. In Yakutia, survival was never about conquering nature. It was about enduring it. About understanding when to stand firm and when to let go. The cold remained. The wilderness remained, but so did he. And as long as fire burned and breath rose into the frozen air, his story would continue, written not in words, but in ice, silence, and the quiet strength of a man who refused to vanish.